Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna
Hare,
Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Ajnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapatakalam Shri Gurun Vaishramamsha Shri Rupam Savratatam Sarvana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savajut Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते सप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So today's class we dedicated to Lord Jagannath. We will be understanding Lord's Jagannath's glories once we finish the regular pancha tatvas part of the class. All right. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन जय जगन्नाथ 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 जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भव तुम्हें जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रा जय सुदर्शन जय जगन्नाथ 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे. Okay, let's begin pancha tatvas. So anybody knows who are the pancha tatvas we've already finished learning about? Who are they? Can we list?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
We finished Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu and Advaita.
Yes, Hari Bol. Who is Advaita Acharya? Anybody knows? Who is Advaita Acharya? We just finished in the last class. Sadashiva, yes, and he's an incarnation of two people combined. Sadashiva and Vishnu, yes, Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu, that is Karnodakshaya Vishnu. Alright, so he is an incarnation of Karnodakshaya Vishnu, that is Mahavishnu and Sadashiva. And what did he do predominantly? Advaita Acharya, right? Why is he called Acharya? What did he do? Who knows? Why is he called Acharya? What did he do? Yes, preaching. I got an answer in the chat. Preaching, yes. How did he preach? How did he preach? Okay, so he basically used to preach by conducting Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam class at his house. Right? That is the predominant way he used to preach. All right. And now we will be learning the remaining two, that is Gadadhar Pandit and Srivas. So can anybody recite the Panchatattva mantra? Who can recite?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Bol, yes. So Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita. So these three we already finished. Now Gadadhar Pandit and Srivas are left, and we will be learning about them. All right. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. So Bhaktakyam is Srivas and Bhakta Shaktikam is Gadadhar Pandit. All right. So who is Gadadhar Pandit? Any idea? He is the Shakti principle, right? Shakti Tattva he represents. So who is Gadadhar Pandit? Who is Krishna's Shakti energy? Radharani, yes. So Gadadhar Pandit is Shaktikam, so Radharani definitely Krishna's internal potency, pleasure potency. But along with Radharani, there's somebody else also. It's again a combined incarnation like Advaita Acharya. Radharani and nobody knows. Yeah, this is a very confidential truth. Not everybody know. Right. So Radharani and Lalita Sakhi. All right. So we will be learning about that. So basically, as you see in the picture, we've been discussing about this, right? So now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, and Gadadhar Pandit almost look alike. In any picture you see, any Panchatattva picture, they three look very alike. Either we need to, differentiate between them through the placements, the places where they stand, or by seeing the color of the dress. All right. So now which color dress that does Nityananda Prabhu wear? Who knows?
Blue color, Mataji.
Blue Mataji,
Yes.
blue,
Yes.
Balaram, blue.
And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Yellow.
Yellow color. Yes. Same like Krishna, even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wears yellow color. Same like Balram, even Nityananda Prabhu wears blue color. And Gadadhar Pandit wears magenta, pinkish kind of a color. All right. So these, through the dress color only, we usually identify the three people. They are very different. I mean, they are very same. And Advaita Acharya is easy to identify because he's senior most. And Srivas, again, he's also very easy to identify because he represents the Jiva Tattva, like us, living entities, but he's a pure devotee of the Lord. All right. So he wears the saffron, sannyas clothes. So that's again very easy to identify. All right. So Gadadhar Pandit, will be getting into details about him. So he is also known as Pandita Goswami, and he's a very close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like we already discussed, he is an incarnation of Radharani. Radharani is the pleasure potency of the Lord, right? So very, very intimate devotee of Krishna is Radharani. So obviously, even in Chaitanya Leela, Gadadhar Pandit was a very, very close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All right. And Gadadhar Pandit is described as a very handsome young man. Obviously, because Radharani is very beautiful. Radharani is even more beautiful than Krishna. She is Madana Mohana Mohini. Krishna is called Madana Mohana because he defeats the beauty of Cupid. But Radharani is Madana Mohana Mohini. She defeats the beauty of even Krishna. That's why that characteristic is still retained. Even if she is come down as Gadadhar Pandit, he is still the most beautiful among the pancha tatvas is Gadadhar Pandit. All right, and he studied in the student of Nyaya. He was a student of Nyaya and he ranked the highest among the inner circle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's followers. So he's very intellectual. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally gave Gadadhar Pandit Goswami a deity to worship and the responsibility to teach Srimad Bhagavatam. So, like we already discussed, since she is the pleasure potency or Radharani herself, Radha Krishna usually have intimate pastimes, right? Same way, Gadadhar Pandit and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also used to have intimate pastimes, as in they used to go in a isolated place. Not many people used to always surround them. When the moment Gadadhar Pandit and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to speak something or discuss, people used to go away. All right, because everybody knows. I mean, the Pancha Tattvas, the remaining Tattvas, already know he is Radharani and he is Krishna. Right, so they used to go to a garden nearby and they used to sit there and discuss Bhagavatam. They used to read every single day. They used to read Bhagavatam, and their favorite canto was seventh canto. Okay, seventh canto describes the pastimes of Prahlad and Narasimhadev. All right, they used to read and cry looking at Prahlad's love for the Lord. Such a small boy, and he had so much love for Narasimhadev, such pure intention, so much devotional service. It's very rare, right, to find such a person. Looking at that emotion, looking at his love, looking at his intention, both of them used to cry. Both of them used to cry. They used to cry so much that entire Bhagavatam book would become so wet, as if it is, it got wet in a rain. So much wet it would become. And they would cry. Every single day this would repeat. All right. And that was like their routine. Because Gadadhar Pandit is a very intimate associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. These aspects about intimate devotion service cannot be discussed with others. It's only with intimate devotees, close associates, right? And then, so this used to happen. They used to sit in the garden. In Bengali, garden means tota. All right. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dug a place, all right, in the garden. And he dug a place and he found deity. He found Krishna deity, all right. And that Krishna deity was named something, very famous temple in near Puri. Anybody knows? Which deity was it? What was
Jagannath.
he named? No, it's near Puri, but not Jagannath. Nobody knows? Okay. So like I told, he was found in garden, Tota. So he was called Tota Gopinath. All right. So Krishna was called Gopinath, and because he was found in that garden, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu named him Tota Gopinath and handed over the deity to Gadadhar Pandit and said, you worship him every day. I have entrusted the responsibility of Gopinath to you. You worship him every single day. So Gadadhar Pandit used to, he installed him in the temple. It's in that garden itself, right? So he installed him and then he worshipped him every day. Because it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's orders, every day he used to worship him. He became old, he grew old, Gadadhar Pandit became old. And Gopinath was very tall. The deity was very tall, okay? So to dress him up, the head portion, the turban, jewelry, and all that, it was very difficult for Gadadhar Pandit because he was old now. He was not as energetic as before. So to lift his hands high up and decorate the turban and all that, it was very difficult. So he cried. He cried and prayed to the deity, telling him how the difficulties he had to undergo, right, to decorate him, to offer service to him properly. So then what happened? You know what? Out of all mercy, causeless mercy of Krishna, the deity sat down on his knees, right? He was very tall standing, but then he actually sat down. That is the specialty of this temple, Tota Gopinath, because everywhere else Krishna is standing, right? I've never seen sitting Krishna anywhere. I have seen in Tamil Nadu there is a place, right? Ranganath, Sri Rangam, where the deity is sleeping. Sri Vishnu is sleeping on Anantashesh. That is sleeping, but I've never seen sitting Krishna. But here in Tota Gopinath, in Puri, near Puri, he's actually sitting. He bends down on his knees and then says, now you can decorate me properly. Now I have bent down, I have sat, so that you don't have to worry about your old age or whatever. Now you can decorate me very well. And then Gadadhar Pandit actually cries out of happiness, tears. The deity is actually reciprocated, right? And sat down for him. So this is a very, very famous temple in near Puri. If you visit Puri, if you get a chance to visit Puri, please do visit this temple as well. All right, the deity sat for a devotee. I mean, just look at that, right? In Udupi, Krishna turned for devotee, right? Kanakadas. And Sakshi Gopal, again, Sakshi Gopal is also near Puri itself, where the deity walked. Sakshi, he was a witness for a case, and to give his witness, he walked to the place where case was happening. So deity walked, right? And Kshir Chor Gopinath again comes near Puri only somewhere, where the deity, what does he do? He steals sweet rice for Madhavendra Puri, a devotee again. So the deity stole something, right? So deity has life in it. Krishna himself, right? He's Krishna himself. Out of his mercy, he's come down in the form of that particular deity. Jagannath is made of wood deity. All right. In other temples, we have marble deities or whatever, but they are not marble, they are not wood, they are deities, they are God, they are Krishna. All right. Ye yatamam prapadyanti tam sataiva bhajamyaham, right? So Krishna says, however you look at me, however you worship me, however you consider me, that way I reciprocate. If you call him a marble, idol, toy, whatever, then he will remain a toy, he will remain an idol, he will remain a marble, right? But if you call him deity, if you call him Krishna instead of calling him deity or whatever, if you call him by his name, if you say, did you offer food to God? Instead of saying that, say, did you offer food to Krishna? Did he finish eating? So consider him to be a part of your family. Then what happens? He also reciprocates in the same way. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham, right? That way I reciprocate, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. The same way here, Gadadhar Pandit prayed to him considering to be a standing man. So he sat down, right? So that was the intimate, and she is Radharani. I mean, he is Radharani. So the level of devotion is very high. We cannot compare. We need to follow in their footsteps and start taking inspiration and, applying in our life as well. And yeah, so he was called, and his guru was Pundarika Vidyanidhi. All right, so Gadadhar Pandit got initiated by Pundarika Vidyanidhi, his guru, and after getting initiated, he himself initiated a lot of other disciples like Bhugarbha Goswami, and Bhugarbha Goswami again initiated a few other devotees. So the root is Gadadhar Pandit. So Gadadhar Pandit initiated few devotees. They again initiated other devotees, and the chain was growing. All right, to spread the Krishna consciousness everywhere. Yeah. And so here we learn about detail who is Gadadhar Pandit. So he is the pleasure potency of the Lord, Hladini Shakti, or the Radha Rani. So Radha Rani is called Vrindavaneshwari, right? Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. So she is Vrindavaneshwari, Radha Rani. She is the Rani or the Queen of Vrindavan. And he is considered, Gadadhar Pandit is considered to be the personification of Radharani. But one thing what we don't know is she is also, Gadadhar Pandit is a combined form of Radharani and Lalita Sakhi. So here it is mentioned Gadadhar Pandit is a representative of a perfect Brahmana spiritual master. He is the pleasure potency of Sri Krishna, that is Radharani, and he's a learned scholar, and Gadadhar Pandit is simultaneously an incarnation of Srimati Radharani and Lalita Sakhi. All right. So Radharani and Lalita Sakhi together. And Lalita Sakhi is, if you go to Vrindavan, if you visit ISKCON, Radha Shyamasundar temple, you can see, right? Krishna is there, Radha is there. Either of the sides, there are two people standing. One is Vishaka Sakhi and one is Lalita Sakhi, Lalita Vishaka. All right. So there are lot of Sakhis. Who are Sakhis? Can anybody tell me? The hierarchy. Who are Sakhis in Goloka? What do they do? Nobody knows? Yeah, gopis. But what do they do? So Sakhis are all assistants of Radharani. All right. So there are a lot of Sakhis, out of which we consider prominent, very, very prominent top are Ashta Sakhis, 8 Sakhis, who are assistants of Radharani. And out of those 8, there are two most predominant Sakhis, that is Lalita and Vishaka. And that Lalita Sakhi has come along with Radharani in the form of Gadadhar Pandit. All right. So these Sakhis assist Radharani, and these Sakhis are in turn assisted by Manjaris. All right. So that is the hierarchy. Manjaris serve the Sakhis, Sakhis serve Radharani, and Radharani intimately serves Krishna. All right. And so Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami has pointed out that in the shape of Lakshmi, the pleasure potency of Krishna, she was formerly very dear to the Lord as Shyamasundar Vallabha. The same Shyamasundar Vallabha is now present as Gadadhar Pandit. Formerly as Lalita Sakhi, she was also devoted to Srimati Radharani. All right. And Gadadhar Pandit is an incarnation of devotional energy and internal potency, who is Shakti Tattva, or the confidential worshipper of Vishnu Tattva. So here we can see, right? Gadadhar Pandit is an incarnation of devotional energy. So Radharani, here also it is stating that he is the incarnation of Radharani. Why? Devotional energy. Radharani is the symbol of devotional energy. In fact, Radharani's full name is Aradhana. Radha is the short form of Aradhana. We all call her by her short form. By the short form. Her full name is Aradhana. Aradhana is what? Devotion service. She is the definition of devotion service. All right. She symbolizes devotion service. She is the symbol. She is the epitome of devotion service. And because she herself is devotion service, Gadadhar Pandit is an incarnation of devotional energy. Can you understand? Can you imagine? Gadadhar Pandit is the incarnation, personified, devotional service personified. All right, because she represents devotional service. And the internal potency, who is the Shakti Tattva. That's why she is, Gadadhar Pandit is Bhakta Shaktikam. All right. And he is a confidential worshipper of Vishnu Tattva. In this incarnation, Radharani was able to spend time with her Lord as an intimate associate who helped spread the pastimes and glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So she was entrusted the responsibility to worship Tota Gopinath temple. Along with that, she was entrusted also the responsibility of preaching Bhagavatam. So this way, she was also involved. Gadadhar Pandit was involved in the mission that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came down for, spreading Krishna consciousness, right, and distributing Krishna prem. Okay, so that's about Gadadhar Pandit. Next it is Srivas. Okay, so who is Srivas? Gadadhar Pandit is Radharani. Who is Srivas? Anybody knows? Yes, who is Shrivas? I got an answer in the chat. I'm getting so many answers in the chat. Narada Muni. Yes, very good. Narada Muni. All right. So Shrivas is nobody, none other than Narada Muni. Okay. And Narada Muni represents pure devotee, right? Pure devotee. And Shrivas Acharya represents us, we living entities. So he is considered a representation of living entities, pure devotee of the Lord. So he represents pure devotees in the form of a living entity. All right, so that is Srivas Acharya's position, Srivas Thakur's position. So Srivas was a very close associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and a member of Pancha Tattva. Srivas Thakur is understood as Tatastha Shakti or the marginal energy of Bhagavan or Krishna in person. Now, tell me what are the three energies of Krishna? He mentions this in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has three energies, right? What are the three energies? Anybody? You can all unmute. Okay. Renuka Mataji. Do you know the answer? I'm getting answers in the chat, but it's all bits. I'm not getting the three in sequence. Ladini Shakti. No. See, Ladini Shakti comes under internal potency itself. Okay. Anyway, so the answer is internal energy, external energy, marginal energy. Okay. Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. All right. So the answer that I've got, one of the answers saying Hladini Shakti. Hladini Shakti is comes under internal potency. So Radharani is the Hladini Shakti. She comes under the internal potency of the Lord. External potency is Maya Devi, that is Durga Devi. Okay, so Yoga Maya and so Maya is divided into two parts, right? Yoga Maya and Mahamaya. Mahamaya is Durga Devi. Right now we are all under Yoga Mahamaya's trap. Okay, and Yoga Maya is Subhadra. All right, she comes under again internal potency. Okay, so Hladini Shakti also comes under internal potency. All right, and next is so Mahamaya is external potency. So Durga comes under external potency. And Tatastha Shakti is the third potency, the marginal potency, where all of us come under the living entities, right? We all come under Tatastha Shakti or the marginal potency. Why is it called marginal? Is because we are standing on the border. Okay, we can either become devotees and go back to Krishna, or we can make a decision to stay here itself, to remain in this world, external material world, and undergo all the sufferings. So we have those two options. We can make decision. That's why we are considered marginal. We are on the margin, right? We can go either this way or that way. So that's. Please go on mute. Okay, so so that's why we are all considered to be Tatastha. All right, so Srivas Thakur is representing this particular Tatastha Shakti or us living entities, but he's a pure devotee of the Lord. Why? He is Narad Muni himself, right? And he is the leader of pure devotees, right? In Panchatattva mantra we say Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Srivasa Adi means what? Leading. He is heading all the devotees. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, he is the one heading the Gaura Bhakta. I'm so sorry I got disconnected. Prabhuji, can you make me the host? Okay, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so Srivasa Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So he is like a leader, leading all the Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, the devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, because he is the representation. And then that is the position of Narad Muni, Srivas Thakur. Okay, so Srivas Thakur is an incarnation of Narad Muni, and he appeared in Srihata and lived there along with his three brothers, Sripati, Srinidhi, and Sriram. These are the three brothers. And later on, all the four brothers moved to Mayapur, and they used to stay in the house called Srivas Angan. Okay, and there in Srivas Angan, they all the pancha tatvas. Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Gadadhar Pandit, Advaita Acharya, and Srivas used to have closed door kirtan. They used to close the door and they used to have the kirtan after the sunset. All right. It's called kirtan party that they used to have, right? Because they used to jump and dance and sing out loud, play all sorts of musical instruments, and have a very ecstatic kirtan. Like you can compare, nowadays we have these parties that go on in the mode of ignorance. They also start in the night and end in the morning. Same way, kirtan party used to go on here in Sriva Sangan's house entire night, right? And because they were all young, all the panchatatvas were very young. I mean, Advaita Acharya is a senior person, but apart from that, the panchatatvas were usually young, right? So people used to talk very negatively. What is going on inside? That too in the night. They close the door and God knows what they do inside, right? So they were having ecstatic kirtan. And why do they used to close the door is because of that ecstasy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to reveal his different forms. As in Krishna, right? He is Krishna. He used to reveal different forms. Narasimha form or any other forms, for example. Okay, so he used to reveal out of ecstasy, and they were all intimate associates. They all know he is Krishna, right? So that's why he cannot reveal it to outside people. That's why they used to close the door and get into that ecstatic mode, Vipralamba Bhav or Virha Shringar, we say, right? To offer service to the Lord. This was the ecstatic kirtan they used to have, and every night this used to happen. Every day they used to go to Advaita Acharya's house. Srivas and along with his four brothers, they used to go to Advaita Acharya's house and listen to Bhagavatam. So Advaita Acharya used to take classes, no? Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam classes. They used to go and listen, and they used to perform Nama Sankirtan and also participate in all other Vaishnava activities. All right, and so Srivas Thakur is the incarnation of a pure devotee, that is Narad Muni, Jiva Tattva. He is representing the Jiva Tattva and he is the leader of all pure unalloyed devotees. All glories of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu used to carry out their mission of propagating Krishna consciousness and giving Krishna prem. And in that mission, Srivas used to act as a soldier. All right. So it's given over here, right? These two captains with their soldiers, such as Srivas Thakur, travel everywhere chanting the holy name of the Lord. And devotees of Srivas are considered to be the smaller limbs of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That means if we take shelter of Srivas, then we will become devotees such that we will become pure, important devotees for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it considered his limbs. So we see any person is considered to be the part of another person only if that person is going to become important, right? So this is the reason Srivasa di Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We chant every day Srivasa di Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, right? To take shelter of Srivas. And they are like hands, face, and eyes, and his disc and other weapons of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All right, and Srivas, Haridas, Ramadas, Gadadhara, Murari, Mukundas, Chandrasekhara, Vakreshwara, all of these people, they are all learned scholars, they are all devotees. Okay, they are all very glorious. Still, they would come to the sentiment of servitude to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this made them ecstatic. Gadadhar Pandit, Radharani herself, right? They are all great people who came to this attitude of servitude. They humble servants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to taste that ecstasy. That mellow is available only when we come to our original constitutional position, and that is servant of Krishna. That is our position, right? Jivera Swarupaha Krishnera Nitya Das. Krishnera Nitya Das. We are eternal servants of Krishna. Once we come to that attitude and start exhibiting that, showing that, or implementing that in our life, we will also get to taste that ecstatic, happiness, mellow. Okay. And there are innumerable pure devotees of Lord headed by Srivas Thakur who are known as unalloyed devotees. Right. So if we also take, shelter of Srivas, we will also one day definitely become unalloyed devotees. Okay. And we've come to the end of the Panchatattva's presentation. Now, this is how to chant. So by now, you would have all understood the importance of chanting, right? How important chanting is, how magical chanting is, right? How instantly, how it affects, the effect of it, the positive effect that it creates, right? So may I know how many of you chant at least one round? Can you all raise your hands? At least one round. Just raise your hand. Only one person chants. Only 4 people chant. Nobody else chants in this class. At least one round, Mataji, so you can raise your hand. One round is one or more. Yeah. Okay. So out of 10, that is 8. Out of 8, 5 people chant. That is very nice. Alright, so others also please chant. It's very, what do I say? It's magical. It's magical. Okay. And it's very powerful. So now question is how to chant, right? Because when we chant, we will not get completely, devote ourselves for the chanting. We will chant, but then our mind will be somewhere else, right? Thinking about something. We might be sitting in our room and chanting, but our mind will be in office. Our mind will be in kitchen. Yes, so these problems happen, and these are all offenses, right? Chanting has to be very pure. And if you think about something else and chant, it's an offense that you are committing. You're offending Krishna. Okay, this is an offense. And if you chant, if you don't chant from the bottom of your heart, again it's an offense. Okay, if you insult devotees, or even in your mind, if you think ill about other devotees, other Vaishnavas, it is an offense. Vaishnava Aparad. Or if you chant for some material gain, thinking, okay, I will chant one round asking Krishna for so and so, desire to be fulfilled. That is also an offense, right? So these offenses, knowingly or unknowingly, we commit, right? Not that we want to commit, but knowingly or unknowingly, we commit. What is the solution? Krishna is, he's like, he holds a magnifying glass and immediately checks your offense, right? He's very particular about these offenses. He does not tolerate. All right, but we are not elevated. We are not even devotees. We are just trying to become devotees of Krishna, right? Now, how do we proceed? If he sits and checks all these offenses, we will never be able to elevate or advance in our Krishna consciousness, right? So that's where this Panchatattva mantra comes into play. All right, so this Panchatattva mantra is so powerful. You know what this mantra does? What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does? The moment you chant this mantra and chant your round, and so beginning of your round and end of the round also, you need to chant Panchatattva mantra. Okay. So the moment you chant this mantra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu filters all your offenses, extracts only that pure Harinam and delivers it to Krishna. Okay. So this is what the Panchatattva mantra is going to do. It's going to nullify your offenses completely, and then it is going to give you complete effect of chanting. All right. So you need to chant the Panchatattva mantra, then you start chanting your rounds. Then when you reach the Krishna bead again, the head bead, again you chant the Panchatattva mantra and you end your chanting. All right. So this is the rule. Otherwise, no way our chanting is going to reach Krishna. All right. Because so many offenses. How can we chant pure? We are not pure at heart yet, right? So That is the reason we have to chant the Panchatattva mantra. If you've not learned it, please do learn it by heart and chant. Okay, next we will be learning about Jagannath. So Jagannath Ratha Yatra will be coming. I mean, it's coming. It's on 20th. All right. So please do visit. Your nearby ISKCON centers if they are conducting Ratha Yatra. Please do visit and take part. Okay. Yeah. So these are the deities in Puri. So this is exactly how they look in Puri. If you go, this is what you find. Jagannath here, and in the middle you have Subhadra, and here at the extreme end you have Baladev or Balram. Okay. And yeah. Okay. And this is how they look. And anybody knows why are they in this form? Krishna usually is not in this form, right? He usually has flute in his hand. He stands with his crisscrossed legs and all. Why is he in this form? Anybody knows?
Mataji, there's a small story where the king, the Shilpikar himself was crafting the idols, and the king was restless. He actually opened up the door much before it could get completed, and the half-baked idols were there, and eventually it had to be kept in the temple.
Yeah, that is one story. So initially, Neelachala, right? Neelachala Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balabhadra Subhadrabhyam Jagannathaya Te Namaha. Yes, Prabhuji, you were right. So Neelachala Nivasaya, right? So initially, Krishna was found in Neelachala, the mountain. Neelachala is the name of the mountain in that region itself, Orissa region. And he was found there. Okay. He was a very, very powerful deity. Okay. And he used to not give darshan to everybody. It was a very confidential place. Even today, not everybody are allowed to visit Neelachala temple. All right, it's very, very confidential. And if you visit that temple, directly you can go to Goloka. All right, it's like a ticket for Goloka. It's that confidential, that powerful. So there, the pujari who used to do puja for that Neelachala deity was working in the kingdom also, in the court. Okay. Now that king wanted to see Neelachala deities very, very badly. So he requested the pujari to take him. All right. So now what happened? He knew that it was confidential and all. So he said, okay, I will take you, but then I will tie you up. Tie your eyes up so that you will not know the path. All right, to come back. And then he was like, okay, fine. And then he goes, and then by the time, see, Krishna does not want to give darshan to anybody there. Okay, in the Neelachala form, in the Neelachala Nivasaya form. Okay, so when the king comes, the deity disappears, and when he gets to see, when his blindfold was opened, he will not see the deity. All right, nobody will be there. So what happened? So since the deity disappears, he will actually regret. He will be like, oh no, what did I do? I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have come to see you without your orders and all that. And then what happens? He will regret every day. Okay, he will cry. And then in the dream, Krishna comes and then he says, okay, do not regret. It's all for pastime's purpose. So you can again remanifest me in Puri. All right. So for that, you need to take the lead and carve. Take the wood. I will appear as Daru Brahman. Okay, he says Daru Brahman. Daru means wood. Brahman is God, right? So I will appear in the form of wood. So for that, you need to take the wood, carve, make arrangements for all this, and then you need to install me. All right. And the form, he doesn't know, right? He gets up, wakes up out of the dream, and then he thinks about it. Okay, fine. Wood I need to bring. I don't know from which tree I need to get the wood, right? I need to carve the deities. I don't know the form of the deity to carve, right? So many questions, no answers. So then Narada Muni comes and guides him. He says, okay, no problem, king. I am there to guide you. And then Narada Muni points to a tree and then he says, this is the wood we need. So cut this particular tree. So tree is cut, wood is ready, but the form, nobody knows, right? So Narada Muni says, okay, you call Vishwakarma. Vishwakarma is an architect in heaven. He's a builder and architect over there. So he comes from heaven, he comes and he will say, okay, fine, I will carve the deities. I know the form. Okay. And then he will carve the deities, and then he will say there is one condition. I will carve the deities, but you shouldn't be entering, like Prabhuji said, right? You shouldn't be seeing the deities until I complete the work like fully. I will complete my work, then I will tell you, then you come and see. Okay, so that hammer sound and all was coming while carving. Okay, suddenly all that sound stops. So what does the king think? King was standing outside. Okay, he thinks, okay, the deity, I mean, the carving process is over. It's completed. Now I can go and see. So he opens the curtain, goes and sees. Vishwakarma disappears immediately, and the deities are left uncarved, half carved like this. Okay, so hands and legs are still remaining. They were not carved yet. Now, that's why the deities look like this. They are like wooden dolls, like so cute little wooden dolls, right? And very, very powerful, very, very merciful. See, if you see, there are no eyelids only for Jagannath. There's no eyelids, right? That means what? Like there is a saying, no? If you want to see Krishna, you go to a temple. I mean, when you go to a temple to see God, but here in Puri, you go to temple, you go to Puri if Krishna wants to see you. It's not that because you want to see Jagannath. Jagannath wants to see you. That's why you're going to the temple, because he does not have eyelids. Okay, he 24/7 he's ready to give darshan, and he does not sleep. No eyelids, so no sleep, right? And only 2 hours the temple is closed, and in those 2 hours it is said that demigods come to visit him. He is not going to take rest. Demigods visit him again. It's open for public, right? So that's how it is. Only 2 hours the temple is closed. And so very, very merciful incarnation, more merciful than Vrindavan Krishna form, the flute Krishna, more merciful than that form. Okay, and there is one more story for the forms. Anybody knows which is the other story? Nobody knows? Okay, we'll quickly go through. Okay, so anybody knows? No? Okay. Okay, so we all know, right? Krishna leaves Vrindavan at a very young age. He was like 12 to 15 years old, and he leaves Vrindavan, right? And he goes back to Mathura. And Mathura, he goes to kill Kamsa, and then he takes over the kingdom. He grows up, he becomes the king, and he starts ruling over there. Then from Mathura, the kingdom will be transferred to Dwaraka, right? He builds a nice castle in Dwaraka, and he transfers the kingdom there. Yes, so this has all happened. Now the story is revolving in Dwaraka. All right. So in Dwaraka, he marries 16,108 princesses, right? And then so how does he marry? He simultaneously expands into 16,108 Krishnas. Simultaneously goes and marries all of them. Not one Krishna going and getting married to all the queens. All right. And then what does he do? He builds 16,108 palaces for each of those queens, right? And then at the same time he will be with every queen, right? It's not that one Krishna going taking turns and taking service from queens. He simultaneously expands, he becomes 16,108 Krishnas, and he goes into those 16,108 palaces and takes service from those 60,108 queens simultaneously. That is Krishna's opulence, Krishna's inconceivable potency. All right, so this was happening. Krishna used to not sleep only in the night. In the middle of the night, he used to wake up, sit and cry. He used to weep. He used to think. He used to be lost in thoughts, right? He used to not sleep at all. So the queens used to wake up and they used to console him and then put him back to sleep. Every day this used to happen. Okay, every day this used to happen. How much ever they console, again next night he would wake up and sit. So all the queens were very curious. Why is this happening? Right? And then that's why they ask Rohini Mata. Rohini Mata is Balram's mother, right? So they ask her, why is this happening? We are showing him so much love, so much affection, so much care, so much of opulence is there, right? He's the king. So obviously so much of opulence is there. Everything is there. Nothing is missing here in this kingdom. But still something, is bothering him. What is that? Why is he not sleeping during the night? All right. And so Rohini Mata says, okay, fine, I can tell you, but then if Krishna hears this, then he will again start crying. He will get into that nostalgic feeling. So what she does, she calls Subhadra. She says, okay, Subhadra, you stand near the door, guard at the door. Okay, if Krishna or Balram is coming, you alert us so that I can stop talking. That's what she says. And Subhadra is like, okay, fine. And she stands near the door. Okay. And then now Rohini Mata starts narrating. Why? Why is this happening? It's because she starts telling them how, I mean, what great it was. I mean, what great love he was shown in Vrindavan. That is love. Here, that love is not there. That love is missing in Dwarka. Okay, why? Because in Dwarka, people were obligated to love him because he was a king, he was a husband, he was a father. So this way, people were obligated to love him. But in Vrindavan, no obligations. They used to naturally love Krishna. What kind of love? Pure love, right? Unconditional love. They used to not expect anything from Krishna in return. He was a cute little boy. What can a small child give in return, right? So they used to not expect anything in return. They used to simply love Krishna, simply love Krishna. Whether they were churning butter, whether they were going on some business, all the Gopas used to go for agriculture business, right? Whether they were cooking, whether they were herding the cattle, whatever they were doing, they were thinking about Krishna. Right? Gopis used to dance with Krishna. Senior gopis used to cook for Krishna. Right? Gopas used to play with Krishna. Right? So this way, they used to look at Krishna as a person among them, a family person, friend. But in Dwaraka, he was a king. He was given that respected feeling, but not love. That innocence was not there. Right? Natural inclination was not there. Right? So that is pure love. That is what Krishna wants. Right? Even now for us, Krishna doesn't like when you have that distance with him. Oh, Krishna is God. We are what normal people. So that distance to an extent is okay. It has to be there. But what he wants is that pure love. Instead of looking at him as God, look at him as your son, look at him as your friend, look at him as your brother, right? Instead of saying, okay, we need to offer a bhog to the Lord, say we need to feed our son, we need to feed our friend. So this way, that internal, I mean, that personal connect has to be there, that bond has to be there. This is what Krishna is looking for. That was missing in Dwaraka. All the 16,108 queens there are Lakshmis. They are not ordinary people like us. They are Lakshmis, right? But even such Lakshmis were not able to give Krishna that pure love, the love given by gopis, the love given by gopas in Vrindavan, right? So that pure love was missing. That unintentional love, no, that unconditional love, nothing in return. They just used to look at him and like him out of out of out of nothing, actually, right? Just they used to just look at his cuteness and they would be like, oh, so cute this guy is. So that way they used to like him. So that natural spontaneous love is not there. It's called ragatmika bhakti. It was missing. So Rohini Mata explains all this. In the meanwhile, listening to all this, Subhadra also goes to that Vrindavan mode, ecstatic mode, and she does not notice Krishna and Balram actually had come and stood there. They were also listening. She had to guard. She forgets her duty to guard, and she is also going in that ecstatic mode. And these two, Balram and Krishna, also were hearing Rohini Mata, and they also go into that ecstatic mode. That ecstatic, expression is this. Eyes are big. Okay, throughout the face, eyes become predominant. Big eyes, right? Eyelids go invisible. Eyes become so big that they even hide the eyelids. Hands and limbs, all the limbs, hands and legs go inside the body. Inside the body, as in not literally, they shrink. Okay, they shrink. Even as when we also get into this highest mode, highest degree of Ascharya Bhav or ecstasy, for us also this happens. Unfortunately, we have not been to that stage, right? So for anybody, this is natural to happen. At least eyes becoming big is very natural. And then they smile. See, if you see over here, wide lips, right? Because they're smiling. They are thinking about Vrindavan and they're smiling. Okay. And that's why hands and legs are not visible, because it goes into their body, as in it shrinks. All right. And same picture, the same situation is being carved here and installed as deities in Puri. Okay. So when Indradumna not Indradumna, I don't know which Raj that is. When he opens the door to see the deities, right? Vishwakarma was carving, right? When he sees the deities, he will be shocked to see the deities without hands and legs. He will be like, oh, what is this? Half carved. And then Narada Muni says, no, these are full carved only. You know what? This is the same form I saw in Dwaraka when Rohini Mata was explaining about Vrindavan, he says. So Narada Muni confirms these are not half carved deities, these are fully carved. This is the form he was when he is in ecstasy. So you can actually directly go and install them in Puri. All right. So this is how it is. This is why this is the story behind the forms, the peculiar forms of Vrindavan. I mean Puri. All right. And then there is Sudarshan also. If you see, there is Sudarshan also kept at the side, and Sudarshan is not in chakra form. In Puri, only in Puri you find Sudarshan as a stick, not chakra, stick. Why? Anybody knows? Why Sudarshan is not in chakra form? Nobody knows? So it was a curse for Sudarshan. So Sudarshan gets very proud. He says, he goes to Vishnu and says, you know what? You use me to kill Shishupal. You use me to kill so many other demons, right? Without me, you cannot kill anybody. He goes and says to Vishnu, I am so, he gets so false pride. He gets false pride. And then he goes and says, Krishna, I am so powerful. Without me, you cannot kill anybody. So Vishnu gets so angry and he says, what are you saying? I only created you and you're challenging me. And then he curses him and he becomes a stick. And that's why over here, in Puri, we have a stick. We worship Sudarshan in the form of stick. Okay. And then next. Okay. So there are, okay, time is, okay. So I'll just tell you, Snana Yatra just happened, right? For 4th June. Snana Yatra, what do they do in Snana Yatra? Anybody knows? What do they do in Snana Yatra? Bathing ceremony, yes. I got the answer. Yes, bathing ceremony. And what is it? It's continuous bathing from morning. Entire day it's bathing. All right. So after taking bath so much, they actually fall sick. Jagannath, Subhadra, and Baladev, they fall sick. They get cold, they get cough, and they get fever also. So because they fall sick, what do? The devotees, they don't offer him chappan bhog that day. They don't offer. So from the time of Snana Yatra till Ratha Yatra, till they get ready for Ratha Yatra, they're fallen sick. All right. So they are not given proper food like chappan bhog and all that to eat because they are sick. No, they cannot digest all that. So they're given liquid diets. Okay, because they need to recover fast. Nah? So they are giving liquid diets. They are given woolen clothes. They are not dressed up with silken clothes and all. They are dressed up with woolen clothes and they're quarantined. The darshan is not open for public. Now it's not open. Okay. So they're quarantined so that they recover soon. And then after they recover, that is like during the Ratha Yatra time. Okay. They recover and then they come out to give darshan to all the devotees. That's why they come out in the Ratha to Ratha Yatra. And now after they recover, usually after, even for us, no, after we get fever and we recover, we want to eat tasty food, right? And if mother makes food and gives us, it'll be even more tastier, right? Same way, Jagannath also wanted to eat mother's food. Okay. So Indradyumna Maharaj is the one who built the temple. Puri temple right now, what we have is built by Indradyumna Maharaj. Indradyumna Maharaj's wife name is Gundicha. All right. So Gundicha does not have a son. So they prayed to Krishna. They wanted a son, but unfortunately they did not get a son. So Gundicha says, I will see my son in you, Krishna. All right. So she considers Jagannath to be her son and she wants to serve Jagannath as her son. So as soon as they recover from fever, they want to taste mother's food. So they are taken to Gundicha Mandir through the Ratha Yatra. They stay there for some time in Gundicha Mandir. So that Gundicha, Gundicha can serve them, and then they return back to Puri. Okay, so this is the Ratha Yatra procedures. From Puri, they go to Gundicha Mandir, they stay there for some time, and then they come back to Puri after seeing their mother. Okay, so this is So this is just a reason to go to Gundicha. They falling sick and all that is just a reason to go to Gundicha. Okay. And one more reason for Ratha Yatra is that Kurukshetra, right? Kurukshetra, you all know, it's a temple place. It's a pilgrimage place. So once Krishna had gone to Kurukshetra, okay, and when Krishna had gone to Kurukshetra, the news spread all over, and Vrindavan people, gopis and all, got to know that Krishna has gone to Kurukshetra. So now they want to go to Kurukshetra is near to Vrindavan, okay. So they all went to Kurukshetra just to see Krishna. All the gopis, including Radharani, they went to Kurukshetra to meet Krishna. They saw Krishna, and the moment Krishna saw all the gopis and Radharani and all, he again went into the same ecstatic form that you're seeing in the picture. Eyes become big, hands and legs go inside the body. Same form, and he smiles wide. Okay. And looking at him, he looks like a doll. He looks like a cute doll. And looking at him, you know, what all these gopis and Radharani do, they take him, put him in a chariot or a cart, and they start pulling him towards Vrindavan. So this initial Ratha Yatra, you know, was actually started by them, the gopis and Radharani. So they start pulling him towards Vrindavan. Later on, they realize, okay, no. And then Krishna also realizes, I'm a king now. I had responsibilities. I need to go back to Dwarka and all that. And then it stopped. The Ratha stops. Then they send Krishna back. All right. So the internal reason for conducting Ratha Yatra is to pull Krishna into our hearts. When we hold the rope and pull the Ratha, it's not that we are pulling the Ratha. We are actually pulling Krishna inside the Ratha into our hearts. And we are capturing him and locking him inside our hearts permanently. That's why I told, please visit nearby ISKCON center if Ratha Yatra is happening. And, you know, pull the Ratha, you know, hold the rope at least. Very, very, what do you call? Very auspicious. It's like you are actually pulling Krishna and calling him and putting him inside your heart. Once Krishna comes into your heart, you're not letting him go. That's the main reason. And this is Alana temple. This is also very, very near to Puri. Okay, so what is happening over here? Why is this temple famous? Is because I told you, right? The deities are quarantined because they got fever. So that time they should visit, no? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to visit Alana temple. This is Vishnu form, Shanku Chakra Gada Padma form. Okay. He used to visit here because he cannot visit Puri. Deities are quarantined. They are undergoing treatment. So every day he used to come to Alarnath and he used to, please go on mute. Okay, so he used to go to Alarnath temple and offer his service as long as the deities had to recover there. Okay, so that's why Alarnath temple is also very, very famous. And yeah, you can visit you can go to all these places if you go to Puri. Okay. And I wanted to discuss the mysteries of the Jagannath temple, but then there is no time. Can I extend the class for 5 more minutes? Is that okay?
Sure, Mataji.
Okay, yeah. So we will be doing the mysteries. Okay, there are 9 facts, or you can say mysteries about this particular temple in Puri. So Puri temple is not like other temples. It's not as ordinary as other temples. Okay, very, very mysterious. Everything that happens in Puri is against modern science. Scientists are sitting and breaking their head. How is this happening? Okay, so like, see, for example, the flag that we have in the temple. Haribol, yeah. So the flag that we have in the on the temple, the flag, usually flag flaps in the direction the wind blows, right? But that is science. But here the flag flaps in the opposite direction the wind is blowing, opposite direction to the wind. All right. So this is again against science, right? And then the Sudarshan chakra on the temple, the chakra is usually how should it be? The chakra should face in one direction. And if people looking at it from this direction should get the side view. People are looking at this from this direction, people should get this side view, right? And if people are looking at it from the back, people should get the back view. But people are looking at it from the front side, people should get the front view. But that is common sense. But here that is not happening. What is happening? Any direction you look at the chakra, you feel the chakra is facing you. See, what incredible architecture, right? Nobody has an answer to this. Why is this happening? Nobody knows. Any direction you stand and see the chakra, you can observe when you go to Puri. You literally feel the chakra is facing you. All right, this is one more mystery. And then this is again a science. What is happening? See, when there is a sea in Puri. Okay, and please do go and take bath in the sea. It's very, very auspicious. Anytime, every time you visit Puri, please go take a dip in the sea. All right, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself took in the sea, and it's very auspicious. Okay, so what happens during the daytime? The air blows from the sea towards the land, right? And in the night, air blows from the land towards the sea. But in Puri, it's ulta. It's opposite, exactly opposite, right? So again, that is also against the modern science philosophies that we have. And what else happens? Yeah, no birds fly over the temple. Every other building in Puri, the birds fly above the building, okay? Only for this temple, no birds fly, no airplanes fly. Nobody restricted aeroplanes, but airplanes don't fly. Birds don't fly above the temple, right? And then, yeah, so the shadow of the Jagannath temple is not visible. It's a building. It's a very erect building, but the shadow is not visible. What do you even say? Right? And Chappan Bhog, right? So how many dishes are offered to the Lord? Chappan Bhog, 56, right? Every single day, 56 dishes are offered to the Lord. Anybody knows how these are cooked? Who knows? Anybody knows? How is Chappan Bhog cooked? Nobody knows? Okay. So Chappan Bhog is cooked on 7 pots. Okay. And when you cook the, 7 pots are placed one above the other, and it is given the fire. Okay. Usually what should happen according to science, according to common sense also, the bottommost pot should get cooked first, right? But no, in Puri, the topmost pot gets cooked first. The 7th pot on top, no, that gets cooked first. So again, nobody has an answer to this. All right. And so these are all different things. And yeah, also the sea waves. Wherever you are in Puri, usually if the town is calm, now everywhere it's very noisy. But if the town is calm, you can actually hear the waves in the sea. Okay. Wherever you are in Puri, you can actually hear the waves. Nowadays, it's not calm, but you cannot. But the thing is, if you go inside the temple, you will not be able to hear the waves. As long as you're out, you can hear the waves. The moment you step inside the temple, you will not be hearing any sound of the waves. All right. Why? Any other temple you get in, any other building you get into in Puri, you can still hear the waves. Only this particular temple, when you get into, you cannot hear the waves. Why? Because Subhadra actually complains to Krishna saying, these waves are very disturbing. It's disturbing me. So Krishna says, okay, fine. He calls Hanuman, and then he says, Hanuman, you need to guard. You need to stand in front of the main door, Simhadwar, and you need to guard such that the noise of the waves does not enter the temple. So he stands in Brihat form, and then the filters the sound, and then he the noise will not reach inside the temple. All right. So Hanuman, it's believed that Hanuman is standing there every day and guarding. Okay. These are the facts I wanted to share. Okay. Yeah, we end. Any questions? Any questions? So Kamlesh Prabhuji is saying he wants to visit Puri, and yeah, Haribol, very nice. So like I told you, only to Puri, it's considered differently. Puri, if you go, it's like Krishna wants to see you, that's where you're going. Other temples, you want to see Krishna, that's where you're going. So we need to be very, what do you call, fortunate to visit Puri. And very, very merciful Puri is. Jagannath is very merciful. He 24 hours, he wants to see his devotees. That's why no eyelids. Okay, no questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, one question. So nice
Yeah.
to hear about Puri. Even I would like to visit.
Yeah.
But one question is about the energies, Mataji. You said internal potency, external, marginal, right? So Yoga Maya, why is it called internal potency of Krishna?
Because Yoga Maya is not like Mahamaya. She is not trapping people. Durga Devi traps people to remind us and gives us suffering so that we get reminded about Krishna and we can go back to Krishna. If we are very happy over here, what will be we'll think, okay, we can settle here only completely. But this we don't belong to this planet, right? We belong to Krishna. So that's why Mahamaya is not Krishna's energy, as in not Krishna's internal energy, but Yoga Maya is Krishna's internal energy because she acts only on devotees. She acts over devotees. Like, for example, Durga Devi is covering us. She is like a curtain separating us from Krishna. She makes us forget Krishna. But Yoga Maya acts on devotees. Like in Vrindavan, nobody knew Krishna, right? I mean, nobody knew Krishna as God. They all thought Krishna is a cute little boy, and that enhanced their love for Krishna. If they got to know Krishna as God, you think they would play with him, they would cook for him, they would think about him, they would be like, no, 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 Krishna is God. I am what? I am a servant. And they would create separate, distance between him, right? So Yoga Maya brings Krishna and his devotees closer. Mahamaya separates Krishna and his devotees. As in, separates as in, creates a distance. Got it?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Any other questions? No other questions? Okay, then we can end. Thanks for joining. Please attend next class. We will be doing Shad Goswamis. Okay, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.